And what did that have to do with today's video? Absolutely nothing.
Let's get down to some more basics now.
All right.
By the way, how old were these television programs you pulled back out of time and space?
By our time, they're over 50 years old.
Now, so therefore, you tell me soberly in front of this television camera that old television programs have been recreated out of nothing.
No, in the future, we're able to watch them stored digitally.
Why didn't you bring one up with you?
The copyright laws prevent me from doing so.
And what program was it? Do you remember?
Well, one is Star Trek.
You mean Flying Saucer, don't you?
In a manner of speaking.
But you know what the people out there are saying. They're saying this man's a nut.
That's understandable. As a time traveler, I'm used to that.
I'm an unbeliever. Convince me that this really happened to you. Not even Life magazine has accepted this as genuine, though, has it?
Buy all the Beatle albums and don't open them. Keep them in a vault.
I'm breathless.
You'll thank me for it. It's 1964 and writer-producer Little Gene Roddenberry is trying to sell NBC on a pilot TV show he's come up with called Star Trek. And uh-oh, they don't like it, calling it too cerebral. Wasn't cheap to make either, costing nearly $5 million in today's money. Not to worry, they asked for another and the rest is history. It's 1956. The space age had not even begun, and yet, intergalactic vessels are leaving Earth in search of brave new worlds. It wasn't the Starship Enterprise making these voyages, but the United Planet Cruiser C-57D sent to Altair 4 to investigate the fate of an Earth expedition sent 20 years before. This is, of course, the sci-fi classic Forbidden Planet, perhaps the best from the golden age of movie science fiction of the 1950s. We tend to think of this period in black and white, with nasty aliens or giant bugs invading the Earth, but this movie was in glorious color, with the best special effects of the period. And it cast a long shadow. When it came for Gene Roddenberry to make his first pilot for Star Trek, its influence can be felt. Galactic spanning ship, off to investigate the fate of a long-lost Earth expedition with minds capable of the power to create illusions. But that influence didn't extend to all areas, as original Star Trek didn't include the widespread use of robots in our society. Sorry, Robbie, maybe next time. This is not to say there weren't other influences on the show. The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits had their fair share of sci-fi themed episodes, with The Outer Limits particularly catching Roddenberry's eye. By the time Star Trek made it to air in 1966, American television was going through a change. Little by little, the box, which had been predominantly black and white, made the switch to color. By 1965, NBC announced all its shows would be produced in color, perfect for selling RCA TVs, and much of Star Trek's look was designed to showcase this new format. So in September 1966, a bright, shining new Star Trek hits the airwaves on NBC. Everyone is happy. You're living the good life. You've got a successful show on the air. Everything is going well. But oh no, you run into a snag. A shortage of scripts to keep up with production. What to do? Well, there was that very expensive and completely unused pilot lying around doing absolutely nothing, but even after 2 years it was looking a bit out of date and had a mostly different crew. They came up with an elegant solution. Make a story that cleverly incorporates the pilot, yet explained away all the problems, and even gave them 2 episodes to boot. The framing story involves Spock's attempts to help his former captain, Christopher Pike, now confined to a wheelchair after an accident. It has the singular distinction of being the only 2-parter in original Star Trek. And it has influenced later versions of the show, especially in recent years. Christopher Pike, Green Orion Slave Women, Christopher Pike, Green Orion Slave Women. The current day sections of the episodes are a somewhat low-rent affair with minimal sets and production value, although there is the occasional stylistic flourish, even cribbing from Igmar Bergman for one shot. The pilot has some progressive elements. The second in command is a woman, although this freaked out network executives at the time and was not continued into the series. Some whiz-bang technology is on display, such as a handheld communication device. Wow, I wonder if we'll ever get something like that. We even get to see a miniature television screen, truly science fiction in 1964. Yes, the aliens are decidedly outer limits, but are perhaps the best of the original series. It also has one of the best matte paintings, old school sci-fi at its best. There is some problematic content. For example, Pike considers leaving Starfleet to become a slave trader. Yeah. Oh yes, and there's this. I don't want to spoil too much. It's one of the better episodes from the original series. Well worth your time if you haven't seen it, plot holes and death penalties aside. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.